Turn this down.
Hey everybody, we are back. We are mompreneurs and we do not quit.
It happened.
So I am here with wonderful mom, Venice Garner. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we did not quit. We worked it out. That's what we do, mommy's MacGyver stuff. So we get it done. You know, I don't know what would have happened if it was anybody else, but we get it done. So thank you so much. Looks like we already have a couple of people with us right now. So hey, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for your patience. I really, really appreciate it. We both appreciate it. So thank you. So make sure y'all say hey in the comment section. Hey, Joan. Okay, Joan says she'll be right back. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure you just let us know you're here. I know you guys have been anticipating this, and I'm very excited to have my special guest, Venice Garner. Welcome, Venice.
Thank you. It's pronounced Venice, like Venice.
Venice. Okay. I apologize. Venice. Okay.
Oh, no worries. Yes. Awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk with you about what we do as mompreneur.
Awesome. So let me ask you this: what can you share with my audience a little bit about what you do? I know what you do, but if you could share with them a little bit about what you do and how that relates to you as a mompreneur.
So I am a therapist, and I'm an author, I'm a speaker, but my main job with Embracing Your Difference, that's the name of my company, is I provide individual and couples counseling groups, mental health groups, and postpartum depression groups. And I'm also an LCSW supervisor, so I allow the social workers to get their supervision hours if necessary.
Oh wow. Okay. And that's through your company.
Yes. Woo. Embracing Your Difference.
You are a bad mama jamma.
Thank you. I'm trying.
So how many children do you have and how old are they?
I have 3. One is 9. One is 4. He'll actually be 5 next week. My stepson, but he's ours. And then I have one who is 1. So 9, 5, and 1. 3 boys.
Wow. I take my hat off to you, sis. I have 1 boy and I'm like, Lord Jesus, help me.
a lot of energy.
Wow.
But it's all good.
So how do you manage your time, because you have a lot going on with Embracing Your Difference? So how do you manage your time between being a mom and then running your business?
You know, it's challenging. I have my moments, but for the most part, I think I had to take a step back and really figure out, like, okay, this is something that I'm passionate about. And obviously, like, being a mom, that's, you know, family comes first, but you can't leave yourself behind, you know? So it's come to the point where I've had to, like, speak with my fiance. I say communication is the biggest thing when you're trying to run a business and trying to maintain and start something from the ground up, because I started it from the ground up. And schedule-wise, it's just about communication. And I've had to take maybe 1 or 2 days where I don't go into the office, where I don't see any clients. So if I go in the office, there's no clients. It's just working on Embracing Your Difference, other things behind the scene. So I'm blessed enough to be able to make my own schedule. So I have like 2 or 3 days where I see clients back to back. And then the other days is just like paperwork, managing, scheduling the boys' appointments and things like that as well.
Wow. So I would imagine that you need a support system in order to even do all that. So tell us what type of support system you have, because I know for a lot of moms, even if they're not a mompreneur, we feel like sometimes we have to do it all, and I gotta, you know, I'm not a good mom if I can't do 100, 50 million things. So what type of support system do you have?
I would say, you know, my fiance is wonderful. I could not do this without him, because it's important that whomever is your support, they know what you do and they are passionate about what you do. They share your dreams. And, you know, his name is Vernon. I have Vernon, and then I have my mother-in-law, Vernon's mom, and then I have my mom, and they are all great. another huge component to that are like my girlfriends. Like when you have those moments where you need to vent about something, or, you know, if you have colleagues or friends who actually get what you're doing, picking up the phone, even if they are not local, just having those conversations where they actually understand and they can give you some good advice and feedback if you need it.
Wow, that is so key. I know for me, there's you know, several people that that are in my tribe, and so I know when there's times where I'm like, oh, I need help, I'm able to actually reach out and say, hey, I need help, and then they're able to, and then vice versa. You know, I have several friends. It's the same thing. Okay, so I heard you say something about mental health, and I want to talk about that since you are a mental health professional. And I'm actually have something that I want to talk to you about offline, as far as that's concerned. But how important is mompreneur mental health?
It's essential because, like you mentioned a moment ago, we do try to do everything, and let alone like running a business and maintaining a household, you have to make sure that you take those mental health days for you. And you know, at times you may feel as though it's selfish, but in all hindsight, it's really not, because you have to take care of you before you can take care of anyone else. So if that means that you know, sneak off and, you know, go get your nails done, or even if you feel like you are close to a breakdown, being authentic enough to actually say, this is my breaking point. Because, you know, if you're not able to do that, then you will start to crumble slowly but surely, and then that's definitely unhealthy. I think paying attention to those signs of stress, and that's with knowing yourself and being honest with those who are around you and who know you. They may be able to point those things out as well, because sometimes we may just keep going and going and going and may not realize that, you know, it's time to really take a step back and take a day or two.
That is so important. And so what about those people who, especially in the African American community, where we kind of look at getting some type of therapy or counseling as taboo, or that's not what we do? I mean, what would you say to somebody who, because, you know, I don't want to be ignorant of the fact that there are some people who just feel like that's for weak people, or that's, you know, my problems aren't that bad, or, you know, things of that nature. So what would you say to a mom who's watching right now, who's thinking that way?
You know, I've had a lot of clients come in the office and they would say, you know, my family doesn't even know I'm coming to see a therapist or coming to see someone, especially in the African American and Hispanic community. And even when it comes to couples, you know, they think that they can fix everything themselves, and they finally come in where they're like at their last string, you know. But I think just having a conversation, if someone came to me and said that they're at that breaking point, but they don't need someone, I think just pointing out that everybody needs someone. God did not place us on this earth to be alone and to act like we can do everything alone. So, unfortunately, within our community, I've seen a lot of people, you know, pretty much like try to stray away from mental health. But the good part about that is now there's a lot of different resources to, you know, allow people to read up on it and realize that, you know, you can go see someone, and it doesn't have to feel like you're going to sit in a cushy chair with a person, you know, with some notes and they automatically diagnose you. It's about feeling comfortable and being able to relate to the person you're sitting next to.
That is so good. I know when my son was younger, he started lashing out at his sister, who's 2 years older than him. I think he was maybe about 6. And he started hitting her, yelling at her. And we're just like, okay, this is odd. He probably, no, he was about 8 or 9. And so, you know, there was a little bit of a struggle between me and my husband, because my husband was like, oh, you know, he doesn't need therapy. He's, you know, he's a boy. And I'm like, no, something's not right here. And so when we went to the counselor's office, when I walked in, I was shocked, because she only saw children, and there was coloring books and puzzles and games like Sorry and Trouble. And I'm like, okay, this is not, you know, what I conjured up in my mind therapy looks like. And so she was able to break through with him just through playing a game and drawing pictures and just having a conversation. I'm like, I talk to my son every day. I homeschool. I'm home with him, you know. So, but she was able to find out And what it was separation anxiety. My daughter had gone to middle school and he was still in elementary school, and he felt like she had left him behind because now she had friends, and he was no longer, he was no longer the center of her world. And so that's what caused his issues. But had I not gotten my son that help, and he only needed like 3 months of sessions, and the anger was gone. You know? So when you said that, you know, that it's not just a big cushy chair, what are some types of, what should people look for? Should they look for a counselor, a psychiatrist? What are the different, I guess, roles that are out there that people can look towards?
Yeah, you can definitely look for just a therapist. I think it's important when you're looking for a therapist to figure out what their specialties are. Look at the testimonials, figure out, you know, if they are just focusing on if they work with depression, anxiety. Some people have bipolar, and other different personality disorders. And I think it's just important to look at that and to feel like when you're reading about that therapist, if you feel like you can be a part of, you know, their practice. You know, that's why when people go on Psychology Today, I'm on Psychology Today, or if they go on my website, when they read about what my specialties are, it's not just about the specialties. I want them to feel comfortable and open to like, okay, maybe I can try this. So yeah, just looking up resources.
Awesome. So with you being a therapist, what do you do for self-care?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. That's pretty hard. I mean, some months are better than others. I'll be honest. I can't even say some days. I mean, but my downtime is typically in the evenings. Like, I mean, I have my coffee right now. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I have to keep a balance because I can't do that every night. I need to get my rest.
Right.
I like to take a bath every now and then. And just, you know, watching TV. Folding clothes is therapeutic for me, as crazy as it sounds. So it's just like little things that I enjoy just to, you know, have my own time.
Right. And that's so important. And I think also, you know, when you said earlier, you said steal away. And what I do is I tell my family straight up, yo, this is my time. Don't call my cell phone. Don't text me. This is my time. If you need somebody, call your dad. I think it's important for your family to understand you need that.
Right. Absolutely. I actually recently told my fiance, he said, well, what do you want for your birthday? I said, you want me to be honest? I want to go to a hotel by myself and just relax. I want to check in. I want to stay there overnight, and I don't want to check out at 11. I want to like stay there the whole day. And if I can get that, then I'm good. I'm rejuvenated.
Girl, let me tell you something. I got some good sleep when I've gone to conferences, and I'm like, can I put these pillows in my suitcase?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely.
I'm like, I can spread out. I got the bed to myself.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Absolutely. So with your kids, I know your kids are, I mean, you have a baby that's 1 and a 9-year-old. How do you make time for them individually, or do you guys pretty much do things together as a family?
A little bit of both, because, you know, the 9-year-old, he's in 4th grade, and our 5-year-old, almost 5-year-old, he's with us at least 4 days a week. So he's basically here as well. And they all have their separate activities, minus the 1-year-old, because he's just figuring it out right now. But my 9-year-old, he's in AAU. Our 5-year-old, he's in T-ball. So we have very busy weekends. So we'll get up, we have AAU games, then we'll have a T-ball game, then we may have another AAU game. And it's all about just scheduling and communication, really. And then they have their own separate like birthday parties with their friends through school or through, you know, daycare or anything like that. Try to make play dates when you can. But during the school year, it just goes by so quickly. You just try to make the best out of it and fulfill the summer.
Wow. And then how do you find downtime with your honey?
I am huge on away time. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be often, but if we need a weekend and it's like once every 3 months or every 4 months, I'm like, okay, we need to schedule these 2 days and we need to go somewhere. Even if it's just like, I'm in Connecticut, if it's to New Jersey. The summertime, we do have like packed summers. This summer is pretty more low key because we're getting married in August. So we're trying to just like, prepare for that. But for the most part, my biggest thing is to make sure that we still have that friendship and we have that time, because we have a whole lifetime and the kids are here, but we have to keep ourselves intact.
Right, right. And that is so important. And that's something that, I've been asking all the moms, how do they find that time for Honey? Because it's really important, because with you running your business, I know that he's behind the scenes doing, the legwork with the kids and all that other stuff, running folks around. And so I think it's really important for them to understand we appreciate their support. So definitely Honey time is really, really important. What is one obstacle that you would say you had to overcome personally to be where you are today?
Well, I feel like, going through this journey of making the decision to have this business, on my own, that was a challenge. And then embracing my challenges as a whole. Like even from high school, I had a guidance counselor tell me, you need to just get your GED. You're not going to make it. I had some health problems when I was in high school and I was trying to catch up. When I got to a place where I was ready to catch up, my guidance counselor did not motivate me. She told me to get my GED.
Wow.
And throughout this time, even like with family issues and, I've had a lot of grief in my life. I lost my dad, both of my dads and my stepmom all within a year. And, I've always been the type of person to look at any challenges as you can get through it and God gave it to you. So that's exactly why I named the company Embracing Your Difference. And not a lot of people knew that until I wrote my second book. And that's when I was able to like explain a lot of things, and even the process of getting the book done and even talking about those challenges, that was like one of the biggest hurdles for me, and I feel free now.
Wow, wow. So talking about your book, bam. I have my signed copy. So can you tell the ladies that are on here, and gentlemen, my husband just joined us. Hey, honey.
My friend brother.
Tell those who don't know about, well, you have two books. This is your most recent one. It just came out, brand. I can still smell the ink drying. Tell us a little bit about your books.
So my book is called, as you can see, Embracing My Difference. It's based on, my company is called Embracing Your Difference. And, I do the therapy. I'm big on motivating others, inspiring others. I have the Embracing Your Difference conference. And a lot of what the conference entails is talking about mentoring, having authentic relationships, authentic friendships, embracing your true self. That means any journeys, any difficulties you've had to face. But in all actuality, I went to Lucinda's conference last year. That's where I met you.
Yeah.
And
hey, Lucinda, I hope you're watching.
Yes, I was almost done with the book, but I felt like I was in a place where I was kind of stuck, because I had never really talked about what embracing my difference meant. And when I left that conference, I received my answer, and I knew that I had to talk about one of the biggest challenges of my life, and that was having two dads and really not being able to ever talk about it. So, with that, the embracing my difference is just talking about my challenges, in addition to everything that, from my recommendation and opinion, that you need to have a fulfilled life. And that means God, friendship, love, mentoring, and just, really embracing all of you.
Awesome, awesome. And where can people find your book?
They can go to my website. It is www.embraceyourdifference.com. It will be on Amazon. I was just holding off a little bit on Amazon, but it will be on Amazon definitely by June 1st. Yes. You can go to my website. You can check it out. I would love to hear feedback. And I hope that it inspires you. If you have it, please send me a note, and I hope it inspires you.
Yeah, and you know, I started reading it and I was like, wow, when you were talking about grief, and it's like you don't hear too many people, Black people, talking about
Right.
grief. I mean, it's like that is, there's so many things that are taboo in our community, you know, counseling,
Unfortunately.
grief, postpartum depression. I mean, just all these things that we experience, but nobody talks about them. And you touched on those in your book. And so I like that you did that.
Thank you. Yeah, those are huge components. And those are things that, unfortunately, like you said, in our culture, it's just you just keep going and you don't touch on those things, and then that's when breakdowns happen. That's when depression could actually happen, when you ignore the things that you actually need to really process within or with someone else.
Mhm.
And for me, being a mom, running the business at the time, when I was going through my grieving process, I was working in the corporate private education component, and I was a senior administrator, and I was always going. So I didn't have time at all to grieve, and I had to take a moment. It was one of those quiet days.
Mm.
The boys were out, and I said, "Oh, I could actually cry today." And then I really I was upset
Wow.
with myself, and I put that in the book. I was upset with myself because I said, how can I schedule crying? That is just so, I would say, whack. It's so inappropriate. It's just like, so, I had a moment where I was very upset. And I think that made me cry even more because I'm like, really? Did I really try to schedule a moment to cry? So I really touch on that, and I discuss the different stages of grief,
Mhm.
because there's so many different, stages. You go through denial, you go through anger, you go through bargaining, and then, over time you come to realizing that you have to accept it, and that's when you're able to get that peace through God. So I'm
Mm.
glad that mentioned that. And then with postpartum depression, I actually went through that as well, like just really having that anxious anxiety. I wasn't depressed, but I was very anxious after I had my last son, worrying, not sleeping much. And again, you have to really be able to pay attention to your body, or even talk to those around you who know you.
Right, right. And it's important to do those checks. You know,
Yeah.
ask somebody, you know, am I tripping?
Oh,
I
yeah.
said that to my husband, am I tripping? And he'll say, yeah, you are. You know, and it's
Definitely.
important to be honest, because then we can begin to be whole and heal and things and I thought about when you had talked about you scheduling time to cry. I remember I had two aunts pass away around the same time that I was very close with, and I remember vividly I was thinking about, I had driven home from one of my aunt's funerals, and I started breaking down in the bedroom, and you know, and I know my husband loves me, but he was like, babe, please don't cry. I hate to hear you cry. So I had to stop because he couldn't handle me crying. So it was like I
Right.
wasn't even given permission to grieve my aunt because it made my husband uncomfortable to hear me cry. Or there's been other times where my husband's like, well, I don't want the kids to hear you cry. And so I was stuck it in
Mm-hmm.
and never gave myself permission to grieve. So
Right.
I don't think it's whack that you scheduled it, because we do as women, we're conscious. And I think about it has to be historical because of slavery. You dropped the baby in the field, picked it up, wiped it off, and kept it moving. You
Yep.
know, I mean, when your children were snatched from you, you
Right.
were not allowed to cry. You had to get back over there and go pick whatever and get back in the house and start doing her hair or whatever. So,
Exactly. So even if it's you taking time out in the shower or just taking a walk, even if it's a 5-minute walk, it's just so important to just take that time out alone. Hi, Joan. Please go with the book. But yeah,
aw.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. It's highly important. And another thing that you touched on was talking to those people who can be honest with you and be real with you, and who
Mhm.
can call you out if you are, like you said, if you are tripping. And I have a whole chapter in the book about authenticity, having a
Mhm.
go-to, having real friends, and making sure
Right.
you go to God first, but speaking to your spouse, but then also having those, 2, 3 girlfriends that you can really be honest and vulnerable with.
Right, right. Joan says she lost two babies. So she says she definitely needs your book. So Joan, I hope you get. My heart breaks for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely pick up Venice's book. I think it will just bless you. There's actually places to write in the book. There's places to reflect in her book. So I really feel like it would help you heal. And then, like she said, reach out to her. She is a therapist, so definitely reach out to her if you need somebody to talk to. You know, but definitely pick up her book. Go to her website. It's embracemydifference.com. It's important what we're talking about tonight.
Absolutely, yes. Email me, Joan, if you have any questions. But I'm really, really sorry to hear that. But I'm really glad that you're interested in getting help. Just keep going. Definitely.
Right, absolutely. Or like you said, we'll break down. I know here recently here in Maryland, we've heard of just so many murder suicides, young Black families. And I'm just like, how does somebody get, even my husband, he's like, I don't understand how a husband could kill his wife, his children, and then himself. So it's like it has to be something going on where you get to that breaking point where your wife didn't even see this coming.
And it just goes back to mental health, like really taking care of your mental health and breaking those patterns that we see within our families. Like just a lot of our behavior is learned behavior. And sometimes that's all you see. So you may grow up in a big family, a small family, and there may have been patterns or some mental health things back then that were not addressed because, again, it was taboo. So you're living in a household with someone who is either severely depressed or may have, some personality disorders or bipolar or anything, and it's just being ignored. And then those patterns just happen and it's learned behavior. So then these people end up having families and they end up getting married, but they haven't really addressed those mental health issues. And then hence, like what you just said, unfortunately, things happen with their families and it's just catastrophes.
Right, absolutely. And Joan says, as mommies, we don't get to break down or be depressed. We have to keep it moving and hold it in. And that's the whole point of what Venice is talking about. She's saying, no, we don't have to hold it in.
No.
We need to get these releases through therapy or counselor. I know that I had to go to various counseling because I grew up in a very controlling household. So I brought those behaviors into my home. And it drove my husband and my children crazy. I mean, literally. And so it wasn't until my husband was like, yo, I'm seeing a correlation here. Every time your mother says she's coming, you turn into this crazy woman, driving everybody else crazy. And he said that every time. He's like, wait a minute, your mom is coming and you acting crazy. And he was like, I think we need to get counseling because there's something to this. But I think we were married like 10, 12 years when he noticed that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I tell anyone, even therapists, one of my best friends is a therapist as well. She's actually in Maryland. I have to connect you to her. And then, I have some other friends where we call each other out on things, but like I've had to go to see a therapist. Like sometimes you have to really go and check yourself. And even, being a wife coach, like it's highly important to go in and have counseling before you get married or even during your marriage. And don't think that because you had therapy one time within your marriage or counseling one time and it was 3 years ago that you shouldn't ever go back.
Right.
There's no right or wrong time. If you need it, you need it. You just go for it. And it actually allows you to have connections within your relationships.
Absolutely. And something that I suggest, especially to the wives that I do work with, is if it's something that I can't coach them through, then I say, hey, you have EAP, which is employee assistance, and you can go and get 6 to 10 free counseling sessions that you don't have to pay a copay for or anything. And I know for me and Don, what we do is at the beginning of the year or sometimes in the middle of the summer or whatever, he'll say, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and get my EAP sessions in, or I'll do the same thing. And then we've even done it with our teenage daughter. So we don't, there's no shame for us in that. My husband actually blogged about it, and I blog about counseling. So that other African Americans could see people like you, people like me who have benefited from it. It doesn't take away from us. I think actually it makes it better for us to be able to serve people because we're, our mental health is intact.
Definitely. I'm glad you said that, because how can you be a blessing to others or even help others if you really haven't tapped into your own, mental health or sort out any kind of help that you may need? So it's highly important.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what do you have coming up next? What's next for you?
Yeah, so I have a few book signings coming up. I'm actually speaking at an event in New York this weekend. I have my Connecticut book signing in June. I have my wedding in August. I'm very And then I have my next Embracing Your Difference conference. It's actually next March. I usually have it in March during Women's History Month, and
Okay.
because it's a transformation season. And my next conference is going to be in Maryland. So I will keep you posted. I have a huge venue. I can't really let all of that information out yet because I haven't signed the contract, but I'm very excited about this collaboration that I'm working on. So I'll definitely keep you posted, and keep on the website. Anybody who's watching, you can go to embraceyourdifference.com so that you can get more information on the next conferences. And yeah, that's what I'm working on. Just working on embracing my difference. Any book tours, if you need me to come to your city, I'm excited about it. I love to come and speak to women about embracing their difference and embracing their true selves so that they can be able to serve others.
So this is her brand spanking new book. I'm telling you, it will change your life. There's a place to write in here. She talks about loving yourself, communication, embracing your difference, prayer, you name it, it is in here. Embracing the now. She talks about the 7 stages of grief. So you definitely want to pick up this book. I think it would help a lot of the moms who are on here to start the healing process, whatever that healing process may look like, whether it's something from your childhood days, your college days, your marriage, job. Some of us have jobs where we have, terrible supervisors, and that may be contributed to your depression, or, and then you're taking it home and your family is catching it because you have a toxic work environment. So don't just think it's just for those who, are depressed, and this can help you even if you're good. It'll help you reflect. So definitely make sure you check out her book, Embracing My Difference, Erasing Fear While Finding Purpose.
Yes, erase fear and just own your stuff and embrace it so that you can get to the next level in your life. And seek out a mentor if you need one, because that's another big component in the book as well.
Absolutely. So leave us with a quote, a song, a scripture, something that keeps you motivated, where you're like, Lord, help me.
People who call me, I've had this on my voicemail. I don't even know. It could have been maybe the last 9-10 years. And it's a quote that I love. It is, every day is a good day. It's just that some days are better than others. So if you live that way, then it could always be, worse. Sometimes it could be better, but every day is a good day because every day is a gift from God.
Very nice. I love that. I love that. Wow, I like that. I like that a lot. Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you everyone who has stayed up, who fought the good fight with us while we were trying to get through the technology. We were not going to drop this ball. It was not on our side. It was definitely, like I said, on the hosting side, but it's all good. This is brand new technology, and we're going to use it and take advantage of it and get these messages out, these mompreneurs out, such as Venice. I think it's just fantastic. That she is helping those of us mompreneurs get our minds right so that we can be better moms, better wives, and better entrepreneurs. I mean, that's what it's all about. So thank you so much for being a part of this Mompreneur series. I'm honored that you said yes, and that I hope to have you back on the show soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. We'll definitely connect soon. Good night, everyone. Thanks for
Good night. Chit chat later.
Okay, bye-bye.